Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bregaton. Let's return to the old Sarkorian Mines and give the good news.
Search for the beauty with your heart, not your eyes.
Who, me? This spell's faulty.
Prove
No, really.
We won't fall here. I swear it.
Cover me, alright?
Be gone, fiend!
Go.
Right. Can't hover over it right now. Petrified Traveler. The statue is once a walking person, but is now nothing but lifeless stone. While its clothes have rotted into rags, an undamaged backpack lies at the statue's feet. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Hey, here he is. Alright, same dialogue as before. Alright, so he does have updated wares. So, Arrow Catcher. This +5 Haramaki grants its wearer DR6 against ranged weapon attacks. A headband of mental perfection +6, we're gonna grab that. A greater bolster meta magic rod, don't care for that. What does he have? I mean, all saving throws, we're not going to get rid of that, so I guess that's it. Alright, what do you sell now? I have the widest choice of merchandise. Right now I've got a fine selection of magicianal, mysterical spell thingies. Everything a wizard could want. Alright, I think exotic wares? The Earthbreaker? Either way, we want to see all of his wares. Now that they've been updated.
We should move.
The foreman tries to make his cantankerous voice sound at least remotely welcoming. Why, hello there, guest. I have bad news. The Shrine of the Three has been defiled by demons. The foreman considers your words and gives a decisive nod. So things are really bad then. Oh well. We'll teach ourselves new ways to survive. It's not like we had it easy before, so we'll get used to it. Oh, not again. No fish. We're sick of fish anyway. The water stinks. What's there for drinking, not sniffing? And if our guts twist, so be it. Nobody's died of cramps yet. Thank you, outsider, for trying to help. We'll make it somehow, don't you worry. There'll be a reward for you, and then you'll leave. After you do, we'll close our little door and cover it with rocks just to make sure. We don't want the demons from the world wound to come knocking, do we? Sarkorian shakes his head, frowning. I am sorry, friends, but it's only going to get worse. You have to abandon the mine and look for a new home. You won't last long here. Stop huddling in the dark. Don't you want to feel the warmth of the sun, see a sunset, or enjoy an apple, if nothing else? You speak sweetly, but our ancestors called on us to survive and outlast the demons, not to munch on apples and stare at sunsets. But you'll see. Something will change in 100 years or so. That's when our grandchildren will eat your apples, all the apples they can reach, all because we were patient and suffered so. This is a bad idea. The tainted water will rot your insides. A slow and painful death awaits you. The old man's eyes are full of grief. Death, you say? It sure doesn't sound like we have a choice. This mineshaft is our home, and now we have to abandon it. Just like our ancestors gave everything up and fled down here 100 years ago, we too must run. This must be our fate. The foreman shakes his head, looking devastated. The foreman casts a forlorn gaze over the mine and says quietly, Thank you, home. Forgive me for berating you when I could bear the dampness into the dark no more. We're all alive thanks to you after all, and we'll remember that. Don't dwell on the past. Think of the future. Listen to me. I speak from experience. The old man turns to you and almost begs. Sarkorian says you lead these crusaders of yours. Can you do us one last favor? Send your people here and let them mine. There are many veins of good ore down here. You won't regret it even a little bit. My home won't be lonely. My heart aches as if we're leaving, while ancestors are staying behind. Tears glisten in the old man's colorless eyes. I guess it's time we said our goodbyes too. Sarkorian sounds genuinely touched. I will go with these people, so they have at least some chance of survival. Farewell, Captain. I hope we'll meet again. Sarkorian gives you a strong, honest handshake. We'll make our way north to the realm of the Mammoth Lords. I cannot describe how grateful I am. Thank you again for helping me find these poor people. I've been on this path my whole life, but I never would have made the final step without you.
I'm always ready.
I must rest to fight another day.
Alright, I suppose that's that.
It's time to act!
So we should have this one in the bag. Alright. Where was I sending? Oh. Try and get Setsuna Shy some easy experience. Baphomet's demons spared no effort in breaking the stones of this solid rock. It wasn't until after the Crusaders finished them off and examined the mountain that they finally realized the reason for the determination. There's a vein of mithril in these rocks, a rare and extremely valuable metal. Daily income increase, finance points times 300. The demon who reigned here worshipped neither Baphomet nor Discari. With the help of his minions, he built himself a little fort and used it as a base to mistreat many captured mortal slaves. It was a spot. Let me click on it. Fair enough. Oh, they're undead. Well, that would do it. I didn't see that guy. Yeah, I didn't look at the type of enemies I was fighting. I just saw how they were spaced. It's like, well, channel negative energy will hit all these guys. A pack of plate beasts had settled in what remained of an ancient war camp. As one Crusader bard told it, the camp likely belonged to warriors who followed Eridan into battle against a demonic invasion around 300 years ago. After clearing the camp, the Crusaders collected everything of value and left. Resources found, material points times 400. Bergalinda is looking at you with undisguised awe. Well, I'll be. You really did come back from the abyss itself. Commander, you amaze me. Well, if you're doing miracles now, maybe you could pull our logistics out of the abyss while you're at it. Because in your absence, that's exactly where it's gone. All the way to the bottom. We have a shortage of, quite literally, everything. Don't take this as sedition, Commander, but I'll give it to you straight. Right now, there's no way of acquiring anything legally. Her Majesty squeezed all she could out of Mendev to march on eyes. We've been left with a bunch of measly crumbs. Fortunately, I still have some of my old connections in Mendev. The nation has been in chaos for the last few months. Without the Queen watching over them, everyone's taking anything that's not nailed down. I know how to make sure we get something out of all this madness. Just a bit, here and there. Woljif rubs his hands, smiling broadly. This is it. This is my time to shine. I got a clever little scheme. I've been cooking it up for a long time. And now I'm finally going to put it into action. We'll hit it big. You just give me the go-ahead. Has everyone in Mendev truly turned to stealing? I just can't believe it. But if we have no choice... You know, war has claimed many lives. Deserted villages, abandoned houses, manors of noble lineages that have been cut short. If they don't belong to anyone now, maybe we could take them. Yeah, we're missing a few options here. We don't have land, or I think Camellia is also on this council. Let's consider our options in more detail. Certainly. Woljif, what's this scheme of yours? Alright, so, we issue war bonds with mind-blowing interest. 300%, 400, whatever. But we don't release them to be traded publicly. Instead, we'll to sell everything we have left in the warehouses. Don't worry, we won't have to give away nothing, because we're going to be selling it all to ourselves, using fake papers and front men, and paying with those war bonds we've got. Repeat this process several times, and then... Right, I can see everyone's already confused. I'll draw you all a diagram later. Or you can just trust me. It's a sure thing. We'll make a killing. Why are y'all looking at me like that? When did I ever let you down? Abrushalai, what are you suggesting? We could take abandoned property the looters haven't gotten to yet. Unfortunately. But it is fortunate for us. Anyway, I know for sure that there's a lot of it in Mendev right now. If we take it for the good of the crusade, it wouldn't be looting, would it? Of course it wouldn't. You just need to convince yourself real hard. Congrats, Abrushalai. Your path of ascension is complete. Only the most upstanding mortals can dupe everyone, including themselves, with such finesse. Durgalinda, what are you thinking? The goal is not to get too brazen, but we shouldn't be missing out either. I've got connections all over Mendev. Old army pals, drinking partners, long overdue debtors. Each one will get us a cart, a barrel, a chest. It'll be an improvement on what we have at least. The treasury won't notice because we won't take enough to cause a fuss. Just a weight discrepancy here, some cargo that must have dried out or fallen off in transit there. Everything is clear. What do we do? So Woljif will give us... Tricky Steel. Adds 10% of finance points available in the treasury, maximum 10,000. Abrushalai, acquiring unclaimed property decree. Adds 750 material points. Durgalinda, corruption. Finance points, income increases by 120, material points by 10, energy points by 2 for 16 days. And the choice we're going to take, the lawful one. Crusade morale increases by 10, which we don't need. I will take no part in the plundering of Mendev. This meeting is over. Oh, I didn't realize my alignment had changed. Durgalinda gives you a sullen look and sighs heavily. So you're sticking to your conscience. I guess we'll have to tighten our belts. Very noble of you, of course. It's just a shame your conscience can't fill an empty belly or slay demons. I really can't stress this enough. We're in a right bind here. We're doing everything we can to resolve it, but I have no doubt this council will need to reconvene again shortly. I didn't build in my new fortress, my new outpost. Let's do that, then we'll rest up and head somewhere else. Alright, the fate of the voice of the cursed bard. The craftsmen of the crusade are asking for the cursed bard's vocal cords so that they can place them in a relic that will honor his memory. Now all that is left is to decide what kind of item this relic is going to be. The lyre you can put on your belt. That's what the amulet will do. Let's do a lyre. One of the artisans put Francis' vocal cords inside a secret compartment on the body of a new lyre in remembrance of his great talent. Enchanting voice. One of the units ran into a monster with 100 female heads. They were singing in sweet voices. The singing was putting both crusaders and demons to sleep. One deaf knight slew the creature, but even death did not silence the heads. The soldiers cut off one of them, gagged it, and brought it to Drezen. What should be done with this head? So we can sell it for 8,000 finance points, use it against the demons, we get the demonic lullaby ability, put target unit to sleep for 3 rounds, or use it for healing. All generals gain +1 level to the reduction of losses feat, which is primary size increases by 5%. Let's do that. At times, emotional wounds are more dangerous than physical injuries. Many soldiers suffer from nightmares and insomnia, and the healers can now ease their anguish with enchanted singing. Alright, let's do an outpost to a bastion. Strengthening diplomatic connections. And that'll do for now. You were right. When I pray for the souls of those I killed, I feel lighter afterward. The next step is to forgive yourself for being lost in darkness. There's nothing else you could have done. They say forgiving yourself is the hardest part. Apologies, Commander. But an ambassador of a certain nation demands to see you. A nation that we considered to be our ally, at least until they came up with the outrageous proposition we're about to discuss. The tall woman salutes you sharply. Asgard greets you, Commander. My name is Nara Kor. My lord, Hedvin the Sixth, steward of Asgard, let me put myself at your disposal. Asgard regards Mendev as a trusted and loyal ally, and our nation will not leave you in your hour of need. The war has brought chaos and anarchy to the lands of Mendev, and we stand ready to come to your aid. The Asgari Expeditionary Corps is ready to assume control of Nerosian and the larger Mendevian cities, to restore order and a central authority. But to avoid a diplomatic misunderstanding, we ask that you accept our help and allow us to cross Mendev's borders. That economy cuts off the ambassador. Mendev is quite capable of dealing with its issues without external help. Commander, I must ask you to send your own forces to the capital. They'll put the nation into the hands of foreigners. Saving Mendev benefits all nations of Avestan. So why does it have to be only one country that helps us? We ask all our neighbors to send us their trusted servants, who will resolve the crisis. And keep an eye on each other, preventing any temptation to exploit our lands and resources. It also gives the ambassador a soft but knowing smile. I'm not particularly enamored of the idea of calling in outsiders to instill order in our country. Before I know it, I'll no longer be a count, as some disagreeable foreigner will be living in my estate. I imagine other nobles will relate to these concerns, so why don't we ask them for help? These sneaky weasels thought they could get their mitts on our turf, while we're out here fighting in this dump. Like hell they will. Once we're done with the war, we'll skim Mendev ourselves, thank you very much. And if these unwelcome helpers show their faces, you just say the word, Chief, and the people will give them the pitchfork. The common folk love Asgard about as much as I love donating to charity. I'd like to hear from the ambassador. Ask. I can explain our strategy, provide our view of the current situation, and vouch for the honesty of our intentions. What made you think Mendev needed your help? My nation has suffered through grueling goblin wars, and I saw what they did to Asgard. Right now, Mendev is worse off than my homeland was back then. The recent upheaval in the capital was just the first sign of the insurrection. Soon it will spark in the provinces. The city garrisons can't maintain order. The best people went to the front lines, and only the incompetent stayed behind. The populace is evading taxes and drafts, and future harvests are at risk. There'll be famine, then anarchy, and then Mendev will be no more. But we, Eisger, remember the meaning of honor. Our nations have agreed to support each other, and you didn't let Andor and rabble-rousers bring this friendship to ruin. We're willing to help. What do you gain from all this? I'm an officer, so I won't mince words with you. You're Avastan's shield, and if you fall, the burden of this war will be ours to bear. Furthermore, we Aisgari believe in the necessity of order and discipline. Mendev's collapse will lead to chaos. Will create new river kingdoms that will spread the plague that is anarchy. And therefore Mendev must endure. For the good of all of us who are united in our adherence to order. On what conditions do you intend to assist us? A limited military contingent will take control of all major cities in Mendev. Sabotage and corruption will be eliminated, and authority over the respective territories will be given to a network of military security forces, subordinate to the headquarters of the Aisgari army in Nerosian. Naturally, the headquarters will cooperate with the Royal Council and act solely based on its approval. Once Nerosian is capable of keeping Mendev under control, we'll head back home. No demands or indemnities will follow. Why do you need my permission? We must follow the law. No matter how noble our intentions are, we have no right to interfere in the matters of another country. We need to be invited, or be considered an intervention. No one except you has the authority to do it. The political status of the Royal Council is too questionable at the moment. You've satisfied my curiosity. Lady Kenomi makes a concerned sound. I hope you understand that all these courteous speeches are just a velvet glove wrapped around an iron fist. Let's see what the Council has to say. Hope all its members are aware that the fate of Mendev is at stake. Social, elaborate on your idea. Social gives the ambassador a piercing look. We invite one country to help, and will try to subjugate Mendev. We invite all of them, and everyone will be watching the others jealously, stopping them from taking what they shouldn't. Avestan wants stability. If Mendev falls under the influence of any external power, that stability will be disrupted. No ruler will refuse to send their best representatives, otherwise they'll lose control of the situation. Together, those people will bring Mendev back into shape, and after that, who knows, they might even give some advice to our generals. But most importantly, they won't allow each other to profit off our misfortune. Or, and this is much more plausible, they'll ransack Mendev piece by piece 10 times faster. It's fascinating how swiftly sovereigns can forget their differences when presented with the opportunity to rob someone else. Darren, will the nobles be able to solve the nation's predicament without outside help? For all the things people say about my social class, we have one particular quality. And the aristocracy has strong ties to its country. Family estates are our roots, and they run deep in the ground. Bloodlines are the shoots that grow from local history. So yes, the nobility can solve this predicament. They possess not just experience as rulers, but the will to rule. If you wish to bolster their fervor and win some loyalty, give them new lands here on the territories reclaimed from demons. Then their ties to you will be almost as strong as they are to Mendev. So the main incentive for the nobility to save Mendev will still be the pride and the thought of keeping their lands. I'm not sure if that is a solid enough footing. Woljiv, why do you oppose Eisger? Because I know they're masters. Cheliax wants to get its grubby hands on Mendev and us, and Eisger are their flunkies doing all the dirty work. Chelaxians are greedy. If something finds its way to their pockets, there's no getting it back. If we're not into the idea of marching to the devil's tune in the near future, we better rile up the people. Mendevians just love kicking tieflings around, don't they? How about they work over some devils as well? Lady Kenomi, what are you expecting from me? I'm not denying the fact that Mendev is in the middle of a severe crisis. However, we must solve this problem on our own, without involving foreign powers. Nerosian did all it could to help Drezen, and now it's time to reciprocate. I ask that you give the order to all newly formed detachments standing ready to set out for Drezen, to march to Mendev's major cities instead. They'll put things back in order by themselves, remind the people that the Crown's authority remains strong. I understand that you'll have to hold out here without reinforcements until the disaster passes, but such is the cost of our nation's salvation and independence. I've heard enough. And I hope you will defend Mendev in this hour of grave danger, as you've done many a time before. Isosocio gives us excellent advisors. The general has a +10 bonus to power. Darren, recruitment growth for trainable units increases by 15% for each captured region. New lands for the nobility. That's what that one's called. What's this one called? Oh, excellent advisors. Or foreign advisors. Awoljif, Mendevian Cavaliers. Unlocks the Mendevian Cavaliers mercenary unit. Excellent cavalry that can deliver pinpoint strikes against enemy lines. 6 Mendevian Cavaliers are recruited at the commander's headquarters. Then Lady Kenomi gives us Restoring Order. Recruiting trainable units is prohibited for 2 weeks. Recruitment growth for trainable units reduces to 0 for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks pass, all trainable units gain the Best Sons of Mendev feat. It has a +20 bonus to combat morale. I'm actually going to go with Lady Kenomi's suggestion this time. The commander has made himself clear. The patriotism of Mendevian subjects is stronger than ever. We'll deal with our problems ourselves. I doubt any power in Avestan will want to question his decision. Also, we're trying to romance Galfrey. Let's not give her nation to another power while she's gone. She may not like us after that. Lady Kenomi bows her head and says quietly, "We'll know soon whether or not this decision was prudent. Will Mendev survive this crisis, or is it doomed to fall? Once the outcome becomes apparent, I will report to you immediately." Alright, I'm going to call it here, and next time we will set out on another adventure somewhere. I have not decided on what direction yet, but we'll figure it out. Either way, for now, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.